Yo, what's going on people? It's your boy Huncho, back at you again with another video. And so for this next one we're about to get into, we've got to head over to Coventry, where a case has recently been wrapped up in court, and we take a look at an ongoing feud within this city between two rival gangs, that being C2 and RB7. It's believed that C2 come from the Wood End area of Coventry, whilst RB7 come from around the city centre. Of course, this is just what's documented online, and I can't say for sure if their respective territories are bigger. Either way though, it isn't exactly clear why the two gangs started beefing with each other, but since around 2019 their beef has been brought to the mainstream after a number of violent attacks and incidents had taken place which involved the two gangs. It was reported that in the 3 months leading up to August 2019, the gangs and other groups which aren't mentioned in that report were linked to 40 separate incidents of violence and other acts related to ongoing disputes. Since then, it's believed there's been significantly more. The tension within the city between these two gangs was getting that bad, the police had to intervene and they would go ahead and execute search warrants, and a number of weapons were seized, which included shotguns and handguns. Now to top this all off, drill music videos featuring the gangs would be released onto YouTube, and just like we've seen time and time again, they've been taken down. Of course, some have been re-uploaded because the police feel like the videos are fueling the violence in the city. The bloody feud though has seen people unfortunately go on to die, and going off reports I'm aware of only 2 at this current time, and that would be a murder that took place way back at the end of 2018 where a 16-year-old boy by the name of Jaden James was stabbed to death by 2 CB7 members, that being Frank Kenfak and Abdi Razak Hussein Abdi. In fact, it was only a couple of weeks ago where they were both actually found guilty of his murder, and they were both sentenced to life with a minimum term of 17 and 23 years. Other people have been murdered in the areas where these gangs are believed to be located, but from reports so far there's no mention that these are linked to the ongoing feud. But this would lead us on to our most recent story, which has been connected to this ongoing feud between these two rival gangs. On the 13th of March 2020, 19-year-old civil engineering student Abdul Wahid Xasan would be making his way home from the mosque he attended for Friday prayers, and he had only recently just been arrested by police for possession of an imitation firearm. But as he was making his way home, he'd get to Arnside Close in the Hillsfield area of Coventry, and then this would happen. Just to depict that for a sec for anyone who doesn't know what happened, Abdul was indeed shot in a broad daylight drive-by shooting. Emergency services rushed to the scene, and initially it was believed that he was still alive at that point, but would sadly go on to die a short while later. A murder investigation was launched soon after, and police would put out an appeal to anyone who had seen a black VW Golf R acting suspiciously in the area. A day later though, a 15-year-old boy and a 19-year-old who's now believed to be 20 years old were arrested in connection with his murder.
Walk towards me, do it now! Walk slowly towards me! Keep walking! Keep walking! Keep walking! Turn around! Keep your hands up!
At some point after this, the two would go on to be charged in connection with the incident, and just to give you guys a heads up until now, which would make it the 28th of November 2020, the two still cannot be named for legal reasons. The pair would go on to plead not guilty, and so a trial was to go ahead in November. So from the small details I can find from court, it was said that the car used in the shooting, which again would have been a VW Golf R, was stolen from Rugby, Warwickshire the day before on the 12th of March 2020, and it was said that the pair were linked to the C2 gang, whilst Abdul was believed to have been connected to the rival gang RB7. And again, it's told a few days prior to his murder he was arrested for possession of an imitation firearm. On the day of the murder, Abdul had been walking back from his Friday prayers, and the two were driving in the territory looking for a RB7 member as a part of the ongoing tit-for-tat violence between the two groups. The two both had balaclavas on, and when they seen Abdul, they approached him and opened fire with a pump-action shotgun. Abdul was hit, and a post-mortem showed that he suffered from 2 gunshot wounds to his back, which caused catastrophic internal injuries, and it's believed that he got shot as he was trying to run away. The shooting was said to have caused shockwaves in the community though, because it was in broad daylight, and it was said that this shooting took place close by to a nursery, and parents were picking their children up from this nursery. The pair would then make off, and it was said that they had arranged for others to set it on fire in an attempt to destroy forensic evidence. Police would quickly identify the two as potential suspects though, and they were both arrested in the early hours of the next morning after officers raided their home addresses in Coventry, which you've previously seen. Even though the pair had made the effort to go and destroy the vehicle, they were both actually on tag at the time due to their suspected involvement in other offences. When police seized the tagging information, it did show that they were in the street at the time of the murder. Shotgun cartridges were found burned out in the car, and they were also matched by ballistic experts to spent cartridges that were recovered from the murder scene. CCTV evidence and mobile phone cell data were also used to track the pair's movements. After a 4-week trial at Birmingham Crown Court, the pair were both found guilty for their involvement. The 19-year-old who was the gunman was found unanimously guilty, and the 15-year-old who acted as the driver was found guilty by majority. It's believed both will receive life sentences when they get sentenced on the 22nd of December 2020. Now for me personally, this is probably one of the most shocking shootings that I've seen over this past year, I'd say, because for one, they're doing a drive-by shooting. For two, it's in broad daylight. For 3, this is in a city centre, and for 4, they're doing it while they're on tag, so you're pretty much asking to get caught at this point, and that's the completely shocking thing about it. The fact that they went to go and destroy the vehicle, but they were on tag, just doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. I don't know how they thought they were going to get away with it, but if you're on tag, of course, that already means you're in situations and you're known to police, so why would you go and do a broad daylight drive-by shooting in a city centre? It just doesn't really make sense to me. But I do want to take this time out though just to say rest in peace to Abdul, and I do want to send my condolences out to his family and friends at this very difficult and sad time. But let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section below. Give the video a little like, and if you want the latest drill, street and music news out of the UK, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Huncho, and I'm out.